along with the other guys, Trent Young and co. We are set just about with the last cars pulling up. It's a big old grid, 30-plus cars ready to go.
So don't get shocked when you see half the field remain there as we wait for the lights to go out for the first group of cars. Bowler and Griffiths bring up the revs. They will disappear down towards the first corner before we let loose with the next group. But a few have decided to go early here.
A couple have forgotten the rules and have launched off the back.
That looked like clues going through the shot.
Maybe it was Harley Haber. Hard to tell from the bridge shot. The second group's off and running now, but that'll be a difficult one for race control to sort out. Still waiting for the last group. Trent Young did go early off the back row, got a little bit excited.
5 seconds would feel like an eternity when you see the rest of the field disappear. Here comes the pointy in the field, doing it from the rear for this time. It's Duckworth to take this group while the rest of the field are heading down to turn number 4.
Bond around the outside. Pingle goes even higher. That's not going to work.
Or is it?
That's amazing. He picks up 2 in the one corner on the high line. That is the fastest way around turn 1 today if you want to get some moves done.
Just pulled it up. Ubergang will slot in behind this group of cars as they work their way through Southern Loop. Here's the leading group coming down to Siberia for the first time, and Ian Shivers in car number 6 will lead us around. It's Chapman second, back to Griffiths and Bowler. Here comes the second group of cars now.
Yeah, not a great start for Ruth Bowler. Then she's been picked up by a B6 or 7G Siberia up the inside. That's video game stuff from Chris Stevenson in the Hertz car. He picks up like 4 or 5 cars in one corner. Tell you what, Siberia is living up to its name today. It's breezy, it's cool. One going slowly and picked up by a few cars through the hay shed.
Is that clues? Maybe dropping back after jumping the start, perhaps. He did pass about 1,800 cars from the start line, so well, there could be more to it.
Trying to go back to the group which he was meant to be racing with. Potentially right there, Matt. Or Duckworth has body rubbing on the right front tyre. This is busy. Got Woods in the Hertz car with Young, Tressida, trying to sort it out down at MG. And doing a pretty good job of it, I might add.
He had his ears boxed, didn't he? Across the top of Lukey Heights. Through they come. This is the guys at the back. They're outside the top 20 at the moment. Through goes the leading group, headed by Lee Bowler now. Run forward Blake Skaberis, running back in 18th position. A lot of cars ahead here as we start lap number 2.
How's the toe? It's a big old slipstream down the front straight. It just runs out of breath a little bit, though, the Yamaha motor. Oh, that's brave and very nearly makes contact at a very fast part of the track. Got away with it. Heating up, though. First lap down. Fast guys trying to claw their way to the front.
Got to be so committed to turn number 1, don't you? Here they come, down to turn number 4. So Bowler, Chapman, Thompson and Shivers.
Yeah. And
not surprised to see a couple of penalties being handed out. That's the triple one. Casuccio coming in.
Easy for you to say, Matt.
Apparently it wasn't. down to Siberia we go. So expect the faster guys to lock horns very soon with the leading pack currently. I do like this system. Sometimes it's been polluted by safety cars and whatnot.
Michael Caruso-esque movement there on the gear shifts. Short, sharp. Skaberis moves to the inside of his teammate through the hay shed. Not quite going to happen there. It's Craig Thompson up the road here. Car gets light across the top of Lukey Heights. Thompson just swerving around, trying to find the grip. Definitely holding Skaberis up a little bit. Diving under brakes down the inside. That's a good move. That's Griffith.
It is Griffith. Start up towards the front. This is action further back. There's Shivers, who led the race for a few corners anyway. Car number 6 back in 9th spot. And contact.
It's Duckworth.
It is
up
Duckworth.
The inside.
That's Renken. That was Renken that gave him the touch up through there on the 52. Very similar.
Yeah.
The Musselbrook Nissan sponsored car. Down to 1. The lead group swing on by. As Chapman in the 25, moving up to second, and potentially going to challenge for the lead here, but on the wrong side of Cool down at Southern Loop.
Yeah, so Thompson now, the new leader. Chapman right in there. Lee Bowler was leading that last lap, so we saw Ruth Bowler on pole position. Lee Bowler led that lap, got put back to 3rd. Eastman's going with them here in the 55. That's the Mustang. A couple of different body shapes here on display. A couple of Mustangs a Nissan and the old AU Falcon. Green-eyed monster, bit of Lowndes-esque look about that.
Bit of a return to the form as the leaders head down to turn number 4. Let's head down to pit lane. Cameron Van den Dungen.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty for Adam Casuccio, mate. What happened?
Well, actually, as we come around the corner, I lost, it looks like on the fourth cylinder. So it looks like we're going to have to call it a day today and put a new engine in and go back tomorrow.
Hard luck, mate.
You get that.
So not the first car to drop a cylinder. Matty Dunstan did the same thing as we saw Shivers be dispatched down at the hairpin. There's Adam Ubergang, thanks to Cameron in pit lane for that update. The climb to Lukey Heights, approaching the half-race distance mark.
Great part of the racetrack, the hay shed. Fast and flowing. Can fit 2 or 3 wide. Now, what happened here down at Honda?
On his own.
Yeah, locked the rears. That's a shame. He was leading at one point, Shivers, but off down at turn 4 is... Wow, Ben Walsh is locked up in a battle with Miles Bond. Oh,
here they come.
Bit of a tap, bit of a push. Some body parts bouncing through the middle of the racetrack as well.
Now, the leading group are inside the top 20 now, looking at this. Up to 14th is Pingle and about 10 other cars, yeah.
Pingle got an absolute blinder of a start, and he is the big winner out of all this. He's got the toe here, Pingle in behind Thompson. And they're all slipstreaming and dicing for position down towards turn 1.
It's Walsh moving down the inside of one of the Western Sydney cars. Duckworth also in the mix. And Miles Bond sitting at the back, waiting to attack in the Tonsley Smash Repairs, car number 7. Oh, we're 4 wide, Chad.
Yes. And they get through in typical Aussie racing style.
That was a cool shot.
How they managed to fit that through. That was excellent driving from everyone to square off through turns 2, down towards turn 3.
This is amazing. On board from Skiberis through 1. Watch them all fan out here. So they're saluting the crowd already.
That is awesome. They had the best seat in the house to watch them fan out down at the Southern Loop. Here we go on the way back to Siberia. Keltressida getting racing, wants to get a wriggle on. Qualified on the front row, second in both the races so far. He's got a car with a broken rear diffuser ahead of him.
Let's remind ourselves, this is 19th position they're arguing over at the moment.
Yeah, but they've got to be quick about it. They need to move forward. 5 to go. There's still a chance for a top 10 if they get a wriggle on. Stevenson, we ride on board with him. AU really struggling for grip ahead of him.
Right down the middle of the track at MG. So he tries to switch back, but he's given the wrong side on the change back here into turn 10, 11 into 12. The leading group just ahead, so Zach Best is leading this race now. The 14-year-old ahead of Sultana. Both these guys debutants in this year's Aussie Racing Car Super Series. Can he hold on?
Tell you what, it says a lot about karting, doesn't it? The racecraft you learn in karting. This is the kind of race where it pays to know what it's like to be in a frantic battle with about 30 other young drivers pushing and shoving at 200 Ks. The fight for the lead is on.
And Sultana now takes us through turn 1, takes the lead off Zach Best. Thompson will stay 3rd. The working lap 5 of 8 here. We're our lead guys. Walsh is up to 12th position now. Pingle's ahead of him. Moment there as they come out of Southern Loop, and how he held it, we will never know.
But he'll lose second, starting to sprinkle, and I think that's the report out of pit lane, and that could also be why we saw that little moment at the loop. You just don't know where the grip is. Look at this pack, it's getting heated down at turn 4. They're all on top of each other. It's a 20-car race for the lead. It's just ridiculous, and it was always going to end in tears for at least 1 or 2 guys. Oh, yeah, it had to be expected. Multi-car pileup.
And it's Harley Haber in there as well. Tressida just got through it all. Lee Bowler is in there. It's a clearance sale down at turn 4.
It'll be a safety car is what it'll be.
There's a fire too.
Big one. Huge fire to the left front. There's no point going on with that one. Although Griffith is going to give it a go. He's trying to get it over to where the fireys are, I'd have a guess.
Very quickly too.
He is seriously on fire. He's trying to put it out on the grass, maybe. Wet grass could have done the trick, you know.
Lexus safety car has come out. This is the first. The fire still on at the front of the car. Here's the 91 of Griffiths.
He's a big lad too, Mark, so it takes a while, as you can see.
Shoehorns his way out.
Fireys are on the scene. He did a good job to get that car into a position where it could be put out. It's probably started with the brakes. And he's letting everyone know that he's okay.
It was brewing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You could see it coming down the Gardner Straight, and it just exploded down there at turn number 4. So the safety car comes out with 3 laps to go here at Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit.
Well, what was the match that started this bushfire? Hard to tell. Gee, Ben Walsh had a wild moment, managed to keep it together on the outside. 4 or 5 cars with a little bit of a knock. That was the moment there. Gee, you know what? It could have been off the bumper of Pingle. Pingle might have been a part of the beginning of that accident.
Poor Lee Bowler got the touch up front and back. Look at the fire coming out the 91.
Well, he's sponsored by Hog's Breath Cafe.
It's got a bit of a, well done.
Bit of a flame grill going on. Tell you what, he did a really good job. He's in no man's land there. That fire is not going to get any better, that's for sure. So he's moved the car over to where the fireys are, whilst on fire. Check it out. That's a decent inferno he's got happening under that thing.
Let alone how hot his feet would have been getting down the foot box.
He had to shoehorn himself out of the thing afterwards. He must be driving that thing with his knees around his ears. He's a big lad, Mark. He fits nicely in the big AMG GT3.
That's fine.
In the GT Championship, but these little micro machines, a different story.
Meantime, while that was going on, Kyle Clue served his pit lane penalty at the right time.
Oh, he's timed that well. So it's Sultana from Best. So Sultana managed to get back to the lead despite that big tank slapper. Best in second, on for his personal best. And that's looking a bit sorry, isn't it? Bit of a crab walk going on. It's punched in that radiator.
Yeah. There's cool conditions here, but that's not going to help him.
And Lee was leading this race at one point.
Rear torn out of the car as well. So the good news, if there is anything to come out of this, is they don't race until late tomorrow afternoon. So a lot of time to repair the damage to the cars we have seen, because there was a few from race number 2 this morning.